Broncolor developed a new light, the Stelos, and Karl Taylor had a chance to use it this week. So Karl, how was your experience?
Paul, to be honest, it was absolutely amazing. I've been blown away by this product. Its size, its power, its flash duration, portability, even in the studio, small things like being able to charge it while actually using it in the studio as well. And obviously being a lithium battery, taking it on location, but also the amount of flashes I'm able to get out of it. On location yesterday, I think we did something like 3 or 4 different shoots still on the same battery, and we still had half the power left by the time we left the location.
Okay, Karl, so let's take a look at the menu structure. To turn it on, you have to press the button and rotate it for security reason that it doesn't automatically or by accident goes on.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea.
So this is a fairly simple...
Yeah, I like the straightforward layout here. We've got 100% showing the intensity of the modelling lamp. We can turn the modelling lamp on and off nice and easy there. Key thing is seeing the flash power and the flash duration, showing you that that's T0.1 flash duration as well. Battery power, and that we've got a Wi-Fi signal and also a test flash button.
Right, and the entire overview is customizable, so you can customize the overview and add more information if you need, or even take information out if you don't need to.
Right.
Wow, should we look at the battery?
Yeah.
So it comes with a V-mount battery, and yeah, it's very easy to take it off.
It's just a little button underneath, isn't there?
And then you can charge while you use it through USB-C.
It's got USB-C, that's really useful. And the other thing I like with the detachable battery, which I didn't really think would be a thing at first, was that for packing your equipment to go on location, taking the batteries off and just having the cylinder of the unit and then being able to just put the batteries separately is actually quite convenient for packing. This unit is so much smaller and more compact than the previous line of products, the Stelos. And the size of this and the weight of it has been a huge benefit on location, because fitting a lamp like this into a parabolic reflector outdoors when you've got a bit of breeze, the smaller the better. And this has been really, really positive for me shooting on location yesterday. The other thing is that for such a compact size, 800 joules, real bonus. This looks like it should be a 400 joule unit based on its size, but actually 800 joules of power. So very impressed with that. And my understanding is that this particular battery, these V-mount batteries, are more of a universal mount.
That's true.
So you can get third-party batteries as well. So yeah, what was it? I think it was more like 300 flashes you can get on full power.
That's right.
And we were shooting, you remember yesterday was bright sunlight, and I'm trying to overpower the sunlight with fast flash sync. And I was shooting f11 as well, so you know, not wide open, and I wasn't having to use full power. At 100 ISO, I was still mostly using power 7 or 8 around that range, and it was absolutely fine in the para. The other thing that really impressed me about this unit is the range of power. If we take a look at the back there, we can see that we've got this range that goes all the way up to 11, but when you look at it and you see it goes all the way down to power 1, it's 10 stop range.
Stops, yeah.
And incredibly, it's showing me on the back here that even at T01 flash sync measurement, powers of sort of 3 or even power 4, I'm still getting 15,000th of a second flash duration even on these sort of medium power settings here. So this is superb, like we were doing yesterday, where we've got the wind blowing and there's movement and stuff going on. Really, really useful. The other thing that surprised me with this is the LED. We've got a super bright LED modeling lamp.
Yep.
And even outdoors in the sunshine,
You could still
it was
see
visible.
sunlight.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't use it a great deal because I turned it off to save battery, but this is a fantastic feature, having an LED lamp. And also, I believe the LED lamp is adjustable
Yes,
from
you can change the temperature.
daylight to warm. But as I said yesterday, I just turned the modelling lamp off for the most part, just to save on the battery. The unit comes with just a small wide angle reflector, but just like nearly all the broncolor lights, it has a protruding flash bulb, which is super, super important for when using it in parabolic reflectors, because you need the light to come out sideways and hit the inside of the parabolic reflector for the correct bounce back. So this is a great feature as well. And then it's the standard broncolor mount. So the range of other broncolor accessories.
Yes, you can fit everything on it.
All fit on there. So yeah, I was really pleased using it. Superb light for location work. Just made the job so much easier. And yeah, really happy with it.
There's also this feature about where you can actually change the color temperature of the flashlight. Yeah, this is for flash.
Okay, so here we can see our flash speeds and optimum color temperature or adjustable color temperatures. So you've got your optimum color temperature, and then at faster flash durations, the color temperature is a little bit on the plus. So not something I use a great deal, but it can be interesting if you're using a key light and then an accent light, if you want the accent light to be a little bit more bluer or a little bit warmer. But we used this also in the studio in the last couple of days, and I was impressed even using it in the studio. So we had it in soft boxes, we had it in even the big 222 para,
Right.
and it just worked flawlessly. The communication as well between the RFS trigger.
Yeah, which one did you use? I mean, this is a newer model, but you used...
I used the trigger that I've got already, which was the RFS 2.2 or 2.3, I think. But I believe there is a new trigger for this, but my trigger worked flawlessly with it, and I was able to adjust the power from the controller on the trigger, which was actually very useful yesterday because we had the light up, remember, really high,
yeah.
trying to shoot the models on the rocks. And rather than having to try and lower the light down every time, just quickly tapping the button, need half a stop more or a few tenths less, could just do it directly from the trigger. And then we also did another technique where one of my assistants moved around with the light manually while I fired it from the camera. And that again just showed how the trigger works at a long distance as well, can work at a much greater distance than that, but that's, you know, really useful out on location.
Yeah,
so,
that was quite amazing how you used just one unit on such a huge set with this huge rock, right?
Yeah.
And then find a way to light it. Just
Well,
with
yeah,
one.
I mean, the shot that I had in mind was to light the models with the Para 88, which is what we lit them with one flash. But the rock was so big that it would have needed 6 or 7 lights to light all the areas of the rock that I wanted. And on location, that's just not really feasible. The amount of assistance you'd need, the amount of lights you would need and everything. So it was actually easier for me to fix the camera, shoot the shot with the models on the rock. They stay in position once we flash them. And then my assistant moved around and I directed him where I want him to fire the flash. And I just take another shot and burst the flash again, and then can build the shot up from that. So we just used one light for the whole thing.
Amazing.
And the other shots we did as well, you know, just the models stood on the edge of the water or in the rocks. It just needed one light and the Para 88, and I got some really stunning results. I was really happy with them. The models looked great. The scene looked great. And it shows you what you can do even with one light. And that, for me, is the beauty of also taking studio lighting on location, because it just brings a whole new dynamic to the images. Remember the first shoot we did where we were partially in the water with the model as well. You know, to be able to take a unit like this and stand it on a stand in the sea, shoot in the sea, have the model in the sea, that versatility of mobile studio lighting is just superb for me. It gives you a whole nother level of creativity. And I think from the assistant's point of view, what was quite good for them as well is that the unit is not a heavy unit. You know, we're talking with the battery, the reflector, and the light unit, we're talking just under 3.4 kg. So for transportation as well, without the battery, it's 2.8 kilos. So it's not a heavy unit either, considering that it's all self-contained.
Yeah.
But yeah, super happy with what we did. And the great thing is that we got to test it out fully this week. A number of shoots, a number of different scenarios in the studio and on location. Yeah, so I was very happy with the unit, and I'm looking forward to when you guys send me a few of these that I can have.
Yeah, for sure. So just for a quick summary, so your top 3 features, what would they be like? What was the most impressive thing for you if you make it like, if you would have to choose only 3, you know?
Well, I'd say the size is definitely a bonus, because I know what it's like to work with big lights on location can be a pain. So the size is a good thing. Power is amazing, and the range of power, but I need to add a caveat to that. And the one thing that is absolutely superb with broncolor is consistency of power. Right. We don't have fluctuation of power. If it says it's 3.1, it's 3.1. If it says it's 7.1, it's 7.1. The accuracy of the capacitors and the output is superb. And that's, you know, what broncolor are known for, that precision lighting. So power and precision is definitely the second one. And then it has to be the fast flash duration for the third, especially in such a, you know, amazingly compact unit. To be able to shoot, I mean, let's say we're at 4.1 now, and it's telling me 14,900. But if I was to even go, I'll just have to spin it back round a second. If I was, say, like an average shooting power for me might be power 6, but we're still getting 8,100
that's
of a
really
second.
fast, right?
And that's T.1. That's T.1.
Wow.
If that was a T.5 measurement, like many other lights measure, that would be probably about 18,000th of a second or somewhere around there. So a T.0.1 measurement giving us that sort of speed at power 6 is really superb. If I was going to say a fourth one,
okay,
I'm going to.
Yeah.
Battery life.
Yeah.
You know, some people might think that it's odd that the battery is contained on the side of the unit, but what that's doing for us is giving us more battery life, because it means we can apply a bigger battery to the unit without the unit itself having to be much bigger. And you can have, obviously, spares of these ready to go. It's quick and easy to mount. But one key thing that you really need if you're working out on location is for the thing to last for the shoot, you know? And we did actually 3, maybe 4 different scenario shoots yesterday on that one battery, and it still came back half full of power. So yeah, that would be the fourth. So I'm really looking forward to using this unit on location in the future. This is, you know, as you know, previously I've used the Cirrus lithiums, I've used the Move packs, but this is going to be my go-to location lighting choice.
Wow, Karl, nice to hear. It was fantastic to join your shoot and to watch you also working with the new, new developed product. Yeah, I was really excited to show the images that we've created, and yes, you know how it's just absolutely fantastic, and you really used the unit in the most versatile way possible. And yeah,
thank you
for that amazing journey with you.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Been a pleasure to use it.
Yep.